Here we are again. I'm Jeff Schwartz of Schwartz Performance, and this is our November 2024 shop update video. Let's go out in the shop and see what we got going on this month. Yes, this 78 Trans Am is back. The customer's been enjoying it all summer, and we're going to be doing a little bit of preventive maintenance on it and button up a couple details, get it all spit and polished for them for next spring. Yes, this elephant-powered 70 Charger has been running for a little while now. Unfortunately, the electronic components that allow things to operate with the cell phone seems to be a glitch, and we had to send the unit back to the manufacturer to have them check it out. But we hope to see this one out on the road a little more extensively pretty soon. We've been driving this 450 SLC Mercedes quite extensively lately. The customer recently flew in and spent 2 days driving around very scenic southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois with it. And we've got a few things to continue to dial in, and then it's going to be going off to him and he can, I guess, store it for winter. We also have the 54 Studebaker here on the road, and the customer came in last week and took it around the block. We're still working on a few final details before it goes to upholstery shop for the final interior installation. We've made great progress on the assembly of this Coyote powered Mustang convertible. This also will need some interior details finished out in upholstery once we're done with the final assembly. This one won't be stored in the winter because it's going to Florida. And yes, we have our Forge Line wheels on here now, and this 66 Chevelle is looking pretty good here. This is a restored 65 GTO. Don't pay attention to the torque thrust wheels on there. They're just on there so we can move it around. The original wheels are being restored, and we'll have them on there this week. We also found all the remaining air conditioning parts to make that an operable factory air conditioning unit, and now that air conditioning system is working very well. This is the 64 Barracuda that I showed you last month. We had just got it back from media blasting, and now we've got epoxy on it, and we will be doing the minor rust repairs that needed to be done, and then getting it fitted to the Schwartz G-Machine Chassis. Most of our Schwartz G-Machine Chassis now have optional independent rear suspensions available. This one here is a Mopar E-Body, and you can see this one has a double A-arm suspension along with the inboard mounted shocks with rocker arms. So this reduces the unsprung weight, and you can open up your trunk area if you'd like to have this stuff showing, or you can panel it off by raising your trunk floor. But this is a real beefy setup. We've got very large diameter, beefy control arms here, and the stub shafts and the axles here should easily hold up to over 1,000 horsepower without any issues. So keep that in mind if you want the ultimate rear suspension for your Pro Touring Resto Mod style car. We've got you covered in a couple different areas on independent rear suspensions. What we've got here is a 66 AMC Rebel. When this car came in, I learned a little bit about AMCs that I didn't already know, and that is I'm very familiar with the Rebels that came later, but I was unfamiliar with this early model Rebel. So I didn't know it existed, but essentially this is the full-size AMC car, also sold as an Ambassador, and this apparently is the Rebel, which is a little more sporty version. It's got these little fake little vents there, and I kind of compare it to like an Impala SS of the Chevrolet full-size world. So anyway, interesting car, and we'll be doing a chassis on this. We're doing scanning and working on design right now. This is a Tesla Model 3 subframe, and what we're doing here is we've 3D scanned all the components assembled, and now we're 3D scanning them unassembled so we can get more detail. And we're going to try to use as many of the Tesla components in the chassis for this 68 Firebird that we're doing, the all-wheel drive, I should say, 68 Firebird. So we're doing more detailed scanning work, and we've got the rack off of here, and we've 3D scanned the rack. And like I said, we're doing all the detail work now to engineer the chassis for a 68 Firebird all-wheel drive. And obviously that will also fit a first-gen Camaro if you wanted a electric all-wheel drive first-gen Camaro. We've almost finished the fabrication and installation of all the components on this LS3 powered first-gen Camaro, and then it's off to the body and paint stages. This is not the wide body Monza that we've showed you before, it's the other one. We've got the engine back in here and all the components, and we've just got a few details to button up, and then it'll be going home. We have driven it extensively, and it handles and drives really great. Yes, we have the powder-coated chassis under this twin turbocharged 64 Galaxie, and we'll be continuing the assembly process on it. Here we have another Tri5 Chevy, and we're doing a chassis installation. The customer in this case wanted to do the painting himself, so he's taken the chassis home. We've prepped the car, and he'll be getting it back to us real soon, and then we'll proceed with the installation. He's going to do the build of the car himself. He just wanted us to do the installation. So keep in mind, when you buy a chassis from Schwartz Performance, our goal is to get you in your car and driving it and enjoying our product as soon as possible. So if there's anything that you don't feel comfortable doing yourself, hit us up and we'll take care of that for you. We've been doing the necessary sheet metal work on this Mustang. As you can see, we've got quarter panels hung on there. They're not welded yet, but they're fitted. We've also put replacement tubs in there and a trunk floor, and we'll proceed with the chassis installation and stuff real soon on this early Mustang. We've pretty much wrapped up the dash fabrication on this wide body Chevy Monza. As mentioned in earlier videos, we changed the front bumper as the customer didn't care for the one that he had originally gotten for the car. And now that we look at the rear bumper, we're going to do kind of the same thing here. What we did decide recently though, the bumper that normally is separate on the urethane bumper is molded in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut the fiberglass bumper out of it, and we're going to fabricate a metal one and have it pass through the fiberglass, much like this stock metal bumper passed through the urethane bumper. So it'll look a little bit more stock-ish, and then we'll be able to tuck the edges in just slightly. This is the 1970 Roadrunner with the Ray Barton 572 Hemi. We modified the valve covers last month for clearance, and now we've got the engine, clutch, transmission, and everything installed in the car, and then we'll be proceeding with the next step. And if you've been watching our videos, you know about this project called the HellVette, Hellcat powered 1979 Corvette with our latest version of the Corvette chassis under it. What we're doing this month is working on headers and side pipes. We've pretty much got the side pipes fabricated, and now we'll be fabricating the headers and connecting the dots, so to speak, from the engine to the exhaust system. What we've done here is we've got a purchased merge collector here, and then we've got a flex joint. We've got a 3-inch mandrel bend here. All this is 304 stainless, by the way. We've got a straight through muffler here that's been TIG welded, and then the muffler itself is a 3-inch inlet. We cut off the stub of the muffler and put our bend right to the muffler. So it's a 3-inch core and then a 4-inch case. We've got a 4-inch pipe that we've welded here to create our side pipe, and then we've got the side exit that's pointing down slightly. So this is all we have for muffler. I'm hopeful that it's going to be quiet enough. Anyway, that's what we've done. And then there's a trim piece that goes back here on all these Corvettes. Like most applications, we will have to trim out that aluminum trim piece to clear this forward portion, but that will be going back on there shortly. We also have this splitter. We're going to have a couple different splitters, one for road course and one more for autocross/street. We don't want this to stick out too far where we're hitting cones. There will be some bracing in the form of like a heim joint with a turnbuckle going somewhere from this point up to the bumper mounting. So that's where we're at now. We also have a diffuser under the back, and this splitter comes back quite far. We will be paneling the bottom of the car as well to smooth out the airflow under the car and give it a smooth transition to our diffuser, which is creating downforce in the back of the car. Well, that's all we have for this month. Hope to see you next month, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.